Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to unlock a writing secret that'll make your words so much more powerful. We're talking about flipping between active and passive voice. Now I know, that sounds kind of technical, but trust me, we're going to make it super simple, maybe even a little fun.
Honestly, the best way to think about this whole thing is like you're flipping a burger. You're not changing the meat or the bun, the ingredients are all the same. All you're doing is changing which side is up. And it's the exact same idea for your sentences. It's all about where you put the focus.
So, to get good at the flip, we first have to know what we're actually flipping between. Let's break down the real difference between active and passive voice. It really all boils down to one simple question. Who's the star of the show? In the active voice, the hero of your sentence is the person or thing that's actually doing the action. We call him the doer. But in the passive voice, the spotlight flips. The person or thing that's receiving the action becomes the star. It's all about who gets that spotlight. Okay, here's a classic example for you. I kicked the ball. This is pure active voice. It's direct, it's clear, the hero is I. All the focus, all the energy is right there on the person doing the kicking. You know, like a soccer player scoring the game-winning goal.
Now let's do the flip. The ball was kicked by me. You see that? You feel the difference? The sentence isn't really about me and my awesome kick anymore. All of a sudden, it's all about the ball and what happened to it. The ball is now the center of attention. The focus has totally shifted from the doer to the receiver.
So you might be thinking, okay, but why would I ever want to use the passive voice? Well, it's actually incredibly useful. Think about a sentence like, the window was broken. In this case, maybe we have no idea who broke it, or maybe we just don't care. The most important point is that, hey, the window's broken. The passive voice lets us put the focus right where it needs to be, on the result.
So we've got the what and the why. Now it's time for the how. Let's get into the mechanics with a really simple 3-step recipe that makes switching from active to passive pretty much foolproof.
Let's start with a nice active sentence. Mom baked the cookies. Okay, step 1, find the object. What did Mom bake? The cookies. Great, we're going to move that right to the front. Step 2, we need to tweak the verb. We add a form of to be, so baked becomes were baked. And finally, step 3, we can bring back our original doer, Mom, by just adding the word by.
And just like that, voila, the cookies were baked by Mom. We did it! We successfully flipped the sentence. It's a simple little formula that takes the focus off Mom and puts it right onto those delicious-sounding cookies.
All right, you've seen the recipe. Now it's time to actually get your hands dirty. Let's run through a quick practice round with some real-world examples, just to make sure this all really sinks in.
Okay, here's your first challenge. The active sentence is, the dog chased the mailman. Right now, the dog is clearly the star of this little drama. So how would you rewrite this to put that poor mailman in the spotlight? Go on, take a second and think it through.
Did you get it? The passive version is, the mailman was chased by the dog. And this is a great example of that shift in focus. Now we're feeling the mailman's panic, right? We're picturing his chaotic morning run. The story is now all about his experience. Okay, let's try flipping it the other way now, going from passive back to active. This is something writers do all the time to make their writing more direct. So here, the coffee was spilled by my clumsy hand. The focus is on the spilled coffee. The doer, my clumsy hand, is kind of tacked on at the end. How would you flip this to take full responsibility for that mess?
And the answer is, my clumsy hand spilled the coffee. It's a small change, I know. But just notice how the active voice feels punchier, more direct. It's about taking ownership. There's no hiding. My hand did it, plain and simple.
So here's the most important thing to remember. Neither voice is good or bad, not at all. They're just tools in your toolkit. And choosing the right one is a strategic choice that really depends on what you're trying to do with your word.
So think of this as your strategic cheat sheet. You're going to reach for the active voice when you want action, directness, and crystal clarity. It's honestly perfect for most everyday storytelling. But you use the passive voice with a purpose, to really emphasize a result, to sound a bit more scientific or objective, or like we saw when the doer is a total mystery.
It's all about picking the right tool for the right job.
And that leaves us with one last big thought. Grammar isn't just a bunch of boring rules. It's about power. It's the power to frame a story, to shift the focus, to place blame, or to highlight a victory. So now that you know how to flip the voice like a pro, the real question is, whose story will you choose to tell?